The guy showed me some of these visa that he has done. So I feel okay. Don't worry, in the next 3 months, just be counting him from there. 3 months, you're going to Canada. I was like, oh, and that is work permit. It's not visiting. So, you don't want to know what happened. If you really know what this guy did after he collected my passport, he collected my money, and I never met him again. But stay tuned. I will tell you the story of everything. So, all right, in this video, I just want to, start a series of my immigration story, where I started and where I am now. It's going to be a long series. I'm going to start from where the burning to relocate abroad has been burning in my heart for quite a long time, even before I ever, uh, relocated. So I'm starting a series here to tell the story of how I permanently relocated out of Nigeria. It's going to be a long series because this story started a long time ago, even before I had the opportunity to even travel. I've been a person that have this mindset of relocating abroad. I never had a vision to stay back home and live back home. I just have that dream that I'm not meant for staying in Nigeria. Maybe for some reason I don't know, but my story starts far back when I was in high school. I envision myself. I always see that I want to be out of this country. I want to live in the Western world, even though there is no dream, there is no value, there is no vision, there is nothing. I just have that idea flogging into my head, and then I really don't really know how to go about it, but I just know that's what I want to do. But in 2014, precisely, I happened to travel. Oh, I would say prior before that, I've made a lot of attempts. I've attempted to travel out. I've done a lot of countries and none was yielding. I tried visa into Australia, to be a student. I pay the school fees, I pay accommodation. At the end of the day, the visa didn't come out. In fact, as a matter of fact, that year, the embassy back there in Australia was not in Nigeria, was in South Africa, and they used to do this kind of thing. They used to do verifications, and we believe that they would do the verification anyway. But that's why I made all those payments, to travel to Australia and have my students, permits to study. The actual denying was because I don't have enough fund. And to my greatest surprise, it was actually written on my refusal letter that I did not have enough fund, and they quoted my account number with the balance, exact figure for figure. So it means that GTB at that time collaborated with Australia Embassy in South Africa, and then they do the whatever, and then they say that you paid everything, but you have no sufficient fund to sustain you into Australia. That is Australia. I've tried France. It has come out to no availed. I tried UK 2 or 3 times. In fact, they deny me all the time. The last one they denied me for UK, I should say, is that I actually applied genuinely that I want to go because then I was working fairly okay. And I want to go and come back, at least to kind of have that history in my passport. And then if UK embassy came back and denied me the visa on the basis of the fact that I have no money, that the money in my account, right, that the money in my account did not belong to me. So I was so angry and I was furious. So I have to write, I write a random blast them, that to hell with them, um, you know, on the visa denial. So, but surprisingly, I got a feedback from the UK British Embassy in Lagos that I should reapply. That's specifically from the claim visa manager, and then say I should reapply. That the judgment was made of what I submitted. They thought I'm not the owner of the money. I was like, this is my money. I was working and I had money then. So, but that's one of the stories. So to fact track that, which country again? I've tried a lot of country. I've tried to go to the Pacific Ocean. I mean, the Pacific region. You know, the only thing I didn't try is Morocco, Libya, and all those kind of thing. I tried to go to Fiji Island. Some of you don't know. I know a lot of Fiji. I know a lot about Fiji Island. I know a lot about Solomon Island, Christmas Island, all those kind of islands. I tried my best to enter into those regions, so that I can from there enter into New Zealand, in Australia, or whichever be the case. But everything failed. So in 2014, now to 2014, I I traveled to Dubai uh, for 1 month. That's 30 days. So when I was in Dubai, I enjoyed Dubai. It was great. And I met a lot of people, that we, vibe together. And there's this particular very calm, decent guy that one of them that, told me that, hey, bros, I have a link that, can do Canada runs and then the guy can actually get you into Canada within 3 months. I was like, that's true. I don't want to go back to Apapa and started working. Maybe when I get home, I will go and meet this guy and then he will do my visa for me. And then in 3 months, I should just like UA, Nigeria, Canada. So that was my thought. So I got the information. When I returned to Nigeria, by the way, in any of the series to come, I will tell you life in Dubai. Life in Dubai is very interesting. So, but not for this uh, video. So when I got to when I got to Nigeria, I contacted the guy. We had a talk, and then we decided to meet up. I remember it was at Ojodu Baga, one of the restaurants. I can't remember precisely. We met there. We discussed. It already told me that the process is 1.5 million, and I was like, okay, there's no problem. And he told me, no worries, you don't have to pay all the money, just pay down payment, and then when the visa come out, you just pay the rest. And I feel like 0.5 million is what I can afford then. So I decided to, go along with that. And I brought my passport, told me to bring my passport, some document, and blah, 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 blah. And the money. So I gave him my passport and I gave him the money and some other thing he requested for, I think maybe passport photograph and those kind of things. So I gave him everything and I was like, say, bros, don't worry. The guy showed me some of this visa that he has done. So I feel, okay, that's the best thing. I should just go with it. So he showed me and I paid and everything was there, concluded, and he said, don't worry, in the next 3 months, just be counting it from there. 3 months, you're going to Canada. I was like, oh, and that is work permit. It's not visiting. So I know if I enter Canada, I'm going to have a work permit. I'm going to be able to work and, settle down and then file for my families and then bring them back home. I mean, back to join me in Canada. You don't want to know what happened. If you really know what this guy did, I think I will stop here and share the story from here, what this guy actually did to me after he collected my passport, he collected my money, and I never met him again. But stay tuned, I will tell you the story of everything. So, but the reason why I'm doing that is for people to learn that this process of relocating, moving abroad is a little bit complex, and no matter how complex it is, you can actually do it yourself rather than handing it over to somebody that doesn't really care about you, that's going to mess your life around and you'll not be able to do anything about it. So if you want to share your story, you can always come. I want to be sharing my story, and I encourage anybody who wants to share their story to come and let's talk and share the story so that people out there can learn. Back home in Africa, they can learn. People that are here can learn, because at the point you are going to get to a story of me, things that I've seen here and how people can actually learn life here in Canada. So this is the first series. As I said, stay tuned. On a weekly basis, I will be pushing out this content just for you to consume and learn. Thank you for watching. And don't worry, don't forget, remember to subscribe to this channel, and then you get notification for my second episode of how I permanently relocated and how my journey of relocation was. Thank you. See ya. Can cross the street. I saw him on the front. Who?